Hey guys, this could be a quick overview of a Thorns Berserker. I'm going to show you some gameplay, then briefly go over my skills and items, and yeah, let me know if you like it.
Oh, hands of gold always gold, but a woman's hands of gold. You rode through the streets of the city, down from the hill on high. Oh, the wines and the steps and the cobbles. He rode to a woman's side. She was a secret treasure. She was the shame and bliss. And the chain and the key are nothing compared to a woman's kiss. For hands of gold are always gold, but a woman's hands of gold. Stealing away in the darkness, through the hour of the wolf till dawn. No high lord's games to be played there, where all his cares are gone. She was his greatest pleasure. She was the shame and pride. And the view from the tower's nothing compared to a woman's eyes. For hands of gold are always cold, but a woman's hands are warm. For hands of gold are always cold, but a woman's hands are warm.
Sarah was never any agreeable girl. Her tongue tells tales of rebellion, but she was so fast and quick with her bow. No one quite knew where she came from. Sarah was never quite the quietest girl. Her attacks are loud and they're joyful, but she knew the ways of nobler men, and she knew how to reach them. She would always like to say, "Why change the past when you could own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief and she'll tempt your fate." She would always like to say, "Why change the past when you can own this day? Today she will fight to keep her way. A rogue and a thief and she'll tempt your fate." Sarah was never quite the wealthiest girl. Some say she lives in a tavern, but she was so sharp and quick with a bow. Arrows strike like a dragon. Sarah was never quite the gentlest girl. Her eyes were sharp like a razor, but she knew the ways of commoner men, and she knew just how to use them. She
This build is so satisfying. I'm sure you guys saw just all of those explosions from Thorns. It's so nice. It's fun to watch. And you'd think that the class would have trouble with bosses. Some, if they don't attack, he does, but otherwise, it's pretty nice. So let's quickly go over a few things. One, let's take a look at my bar. So our abilities are dragon scales, which when we look into the tree, it adds thorns for us. So it's just a great way for us to increase our resistances and our damage. Dragon Spikes is like our core ability, increases our thorns by a massive amount. Dragamageddon is used for just some additional damage, plus there are some mobs that don't hit very often, like zombies. So it's a really great way to clear them out. We use our heritage skills for the passive abilities primarily. Don't I use the fire active a little more often, just as some added damage, but we primarily use this for the health and mana regen um, aspects of it. This gives us increased resistances, and then we, of course, we use Drake form for the increased health and thorns. Um, let's take a look at my stats really quick. 27,000 health right now. Yeah, I just leveled the character yesterday, so we're only at like a Paragon 193. I don't know what it's called in this game. We have 273% increased fire damage, 41% chance to crit, 215 crit damage. That's a little low. We're gonna try to increase that. 533k unbuffed. I think we get close to 800k without rage. Yeah, 850k without rage. When we have rage, it probably goes over the million mark. We're working on our resistances. We have 60 all res right now. 40% DR that also increases with our rage. We have some cooldown reduction for our Dragmageddon. Effect duration because I'm lazy and I just want my abilities to last as long as possible. And we just increased our movement speed a bit so that we're not super slow because, as you saw, we don't really have any movement abilities. We just walk everywhere. And then I think that's really all the relevant stuff for right now. So we use two different sets to improve our thorns and our survivability. The first set is the volcanic garb set, which increases the range of our molten veins, which is that fire AOE that you guys see. So instead of thorns damage, our thorns turns into a fire damage AOE spell that kills it, like does damage to everything around us. And then our thorns with the third effect is increased by 10% for each point of rage. Our maximum rage currently is 125, so that's effectively 1,250% increased damage for our thorns, which is really nice. And then it always makes sure that our lava blood triggers, which is just a damage dot. Um, it's pretty nice. Also, I want to point out that lava blood also stacks infinitely. So you saw some of those packs that like hit me like 15 times in a row, and you just saw a ton of explosions. Well, that dot stacking up 15 times is going to do a ton of damage per second, which is going to melt our enemies on top of the impact damage that we have, the impact thorns damage. So we have the impact thorns damage, and then we have that massive dot that we build up, and together they do quite a bit of damage. And then we have the fourth effect, which is every 3 points of rage adds 1% damage reduction. So just some survivability. The second set that we use is the Furious Retaliation set. That's just for additional Thorns damage, really. It turns our plus damage stat into Thorns damage. It's only at a 50% rate, but it's better than having a completely dead stat in all of our slots. And then it adds 30% of our maximum health to Thorns. So as we get more and more health, we're going to add more and more Thorn damage. And then we were going to use the 4-piece, but then I found this really sweet necklace that does a crap ton of damage. So its special effect, it's called the Talisman of Spines. For each assigned skill that is utility, ultimate, companion, aura, heritage, or ritual, Thorns is increased by 106%. Well, with the exception of Dragomageddon, all of our abilities fall under that requirement. So we're getting what 500% increased, over 500% increased Thorns damage just by this amulet alone. So I 100% recommend using this amulet over the fourth piece of Retaliators. But I think this item setup is pretty. Like I don't think you're going to be using anything else. I think this is where it's going to be at for your set pieces if you want to go Thorns. So I've already went over the abilities down here. I'm going to give you a quick look at the trees. I'm not going to go over them too much. Um, if you're interested in copying it, I'll just have these up for your, for your information. You can pause the video or whatever. And I'm not going to explain my choices too much. A lot of the build is still in the works. I'm still trying to figure out how exactly Thorns works and what stats it works optimally with. We dig deep into the Frostborn skill tree just to kind of try to take advantage of cooling off. I'm not sure if it's worth it yet, but we are using it. We dip into this tree for the movement speed. And then we needed the dragon scales for the increased thorns. And then I'm playing around with some other things. So, I think the core of this is fine, unless we move away from Dragon again, which maybe eventually we will once we have enough stats. But like I said, I'm just recently 100. I don't have a lot of Paragon points, so I'm not sure where it's gonna go. But it's been really great so far. It does quite a bit of damage. It's really fun just to walk through stuff and have everything die. And you would think with the Thorns build bosses would be a problem. There's one boss that doesn't attack very often, but with your dot damage and you having a few activatable fire damage abilities, it's okay. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.